choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the ones going to the promised land.
Starts with the education and religion.
Yeah.
And they start working on our brain the day we're born to make us forget what and who we were. You know?
You're talking
like,
about specifically black men or men in general?
Well, black men, because there was a time when the Moors ran shit, and they've tried to never bring that up, and they've tried to prevent that from ever happening again.
Mm-hmm.
And they've tried to erase that from our brain. So, you know, teaching us in a way that we don't understand or that triggers us, things that we don't need, disarms us for life.
Yeah.
And the only thing left is for us to fight each other than the people that have been manipulating our brain.
It's a coincidence, but the ancient handbag, as it is now known, has quickly become a historical enigma, baffling scholars around the world. The mainstream narrative says that each ancient civilization developed independently, with little to no connection with each other. Yet the ancient handbag symbol has now been discovered in almost all ancient cultures. It first appears at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, which dates back to 11,600 years ago. It also shows up in Mesopotamia, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, and the Balkans. But strangely, despite the vast Atlantic Ocean and over 7,000 miles between them, the ancient handbag symbol appears in the Mesoamerican cultures, such as the Toltec, the Maya, and even the Olmec. Some people believe that this symbol represents a transference or handing down of ancient knowledge. Some even believe this could be a symbolic representation of some form of ancient technology.
Who are worthy of your wisdom. We are under a new heaven based on the celestial alignment, right? The precession of the equinox as the star constellations move across the sky over 27,000 years, right? We're under a new heaven at this exact moment in time right now. He's saying is, be hidden until an older heaven, we're in the older heaven right now, births human beings, that's us, who are worthy of your wisdom. Again, that's us. This is powerful, powerful stuff, and it's extremely important. And it's the reason why I'm doing it in a workshop format, because it's that important that it's done that way, because I'm listening to the master. And the master says, do not waste energy and do not waste time giving this information to people who are wandering the wastelands of life, who are casually and nonchalantly trying to accept the wisdom and the knowledge.
But many of us know that there's something more. Deep in our subconscious, we know the stories of Atlantis and advanced ancient civilizations. It's a part of our collective memory. We are taught that we had a linear progress of evolution when the truth of the matter is that there have been multiple cataclysms in the past. We know of this too. Everyone knows of the story of the flood. It is the most known story in the world. That kind of trauma would never go away within our psyches. Yet, that would mean that we de-evolved, that we were once great nations who had achieved peace and saw past the boundaries of race ratios. We developed advanced spiritual practices and had truly reached the golden age. Many technologies existed that would be hard for the modern man to imagine possible. In this day, we have lost our sovereignty, our minds, our sense of divinity. We have been fed materialism from our birth. The spirit in many of our people are dwindling, but this is the age of awakening. In the official timeline that they give us, the fall of Rome is 2,000 years ago. It's very difficult in a short segment to fully explain everything, especially the timeline, but the way I would put it is that these ancient architectures that we call Greco-Roman are actually from Atlantis, and Atlantis is likely not 13,000 years ago as Graham Hancock suggests. Remember, he believes that we came from monkeys. Atlantis is of a much more recent time, and what was part of what we now know as America. It's hard to comprehend the nature of this reality, and shocking to realize the drastic measures that have taken place in such a short period of time. Many scholars in the modern day have tried to create a new timeline, such as Fomenko and Isaac Newton. The origin of our modern timeline comes from a man named Scaliger. This is where we get our mainstream timeline. But many debate that this is a falsity created by a specific religious group.
Possibly left by an as yet unknown people, using unexplained yet amazing artistic skills. The temple seemingly displays the methods used to carve it. The artist responsible crudely chiseled the design, presumably somehow from the mind's eye, then somehow professionally worked into the refined, astonishing art, which adorns so many of these ancient Indian structures. Who built PHAROAHBTL? How did they achieve such perfection, with such hard stones, at such an early time in history? Is it, like academia would have you believe, a mere 1400 years old? Or is it a far more ancient structure, built using as yet unknown stone working techniques, used by an unknown group of artists?
This is how powerful this information is. We're at a crucial, pivotal point right now in human history where all the secrets are being revealed. All of the secrets are being revealed. But you must become an adept initiate. You see, in the original mystery schools, you weren't allowed to just show up at a place where teaching was going on. It didn't work that way, okay? You had to literally be invited to show up. You had to become an adept initiate. And that's really what it's all about. Now I'm giving you an opportunity to gain this knowledge and to gain this wisdom. You find out all religions say that they're worshiping a being that's not from this world, not of this world. And there's no way to get around that. There's no way to hide it. There's no way to try to say, well, no, it's not what it means, and so forth and so on. You can't do that. Let me pull it up over here because I got to pull it up on my newer version of the book. And so you can't do that because why? We're talking about the fact that the person who told you to pray to them and the angels and so forth told you, I'm not of this world. I'm not saying angels don't exist. What I'm telling you is the ones in these books, they're not divine beings. Virtually all religions either worship aliens. This is from my book, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, version 2, volume 2. Virtually all religions either worship aliens or believe in aliens, and they don't even know it. Let's have a look at the definition of alien. A resident born in or belonging to another country or an entity from outer space. Now that the definition is clear, let's take a look at some of its largest religions and their origins. Christianity. 2.1 billion people worship Jesus. Well, he says in John 8:23, and he said unto them, you are from beneath, I am from above. You are of this world, I am not of this world. I'm not from earth.
Types. The Nordic types have told us that they're from all different types of star systems, and there is more than one Nordic type. But what we found out recently is that one of these groups, at least, is us from the future. And there are other groups like this Nordic group. There is an African-looking group. There is a Polynesian-looking group. I think we're going to find very few of these extraterrestrials are Caucasian or blonde-haired, blue-eyed, like a lot of people depict. Many of our cosmic cousins from the local 52 star cluster are people of color. And when we get to a point to our cosmic cousins actually visiting and integrating with us, we are going to be forced to deal with some of our petty racist programming here on our planet.
Huge cigar-shaped ships appeared over the Air Force Base. These cigar-shaped ships were over a mile in length. One of them landed on the airport landing strip area. When it touched the ground, it created an earthquake like about a 3.5 to 4.0. It terrified everybody in the area. The back of this craft opened up, and several hundred young men with huge, heavy weapons came out of two sides of the ship and formed a protection line around the ship. And the people at that Air Force base, the commander had a meeting with the individuals that were aboard this ship, and this particular race that landed those ships and that are seen in these huge cigar-shaped ships, they are a black race. They look like African Americans. They were about 6'4", 6'5", these tight-fitting black leather outfits on, and the weapons that they came out of the ships with, they were huge weapons. And if you've ever seen a race of people that were conquerors, that had never been conquered, they've got this look about them of arrogance. That is exactly what these extraterrestrials had, and they informed these people at this American Air Force Base that not only were they from a militaristic society, but they had controlled a large portion of the galaxy that we live in. And this was the statement that Ronald Reagan was making to the United Nations when he said that if all the countries on the planet realized that there was a threat from outer space and from an alien civilization, we would all come together, but he was not allowed to make this statement. What I tell you is true.
Back to who we are, I don't see how you don't see.
You're the Lazarus, you're the dry bones, you're the prodigal son, you're the lost sheep, you're the people about whom the Bible is speaking, who will stand up in the last days when the trumpet is sounded.
I shall keep it until the end. Give me understanding, and I shall keep your law. Yea, I shall observe it with my whole heart. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
You're the lost sheep. You're the people about whom the Bible is speaking, who will stand up in the last days when the trumpet is sounded.